Okay, so here we are, and can you tell us first, Madeline, who you're dressed as?
I'm dressed as Hit Girl from Kick-Ass.
Okay, so are you a fan of the movies then?
Yes, I love them.
Okay, now here's a question for you. Have you read the comics?
I've read up to the first movie of the comics. I haven't read to the second, but they're really good. I
Okay.
like them.
And are you a big comics reader otherwise?
Yes, I am.
Are you guys comic book readers as well?
I am, long time.
Okay, it's
Long
Spidey.
time.
A little.
I'm not a huge comic. I'm more of a video game
Okay.
player, but I am a huge fan of more of the obscure, edgy kind of graphic novel comics. Hence why I like Domino. She's more of an anti-hero, edgy character.
Okay. Are you a comics reader, or have you ever been a comics reader?
I've been a comic reader, yeah, ever since I was a wee little clone.
Okay, and are you still a comics reader?
I am, but I pick up trade paperbacks.
Are you a Batgirl reader?
I like to read a lot of the older stuff, and I am starting to dabble in the New 52, which I love. So I love the whole transformation. The Killing Joke is my absolute favorite comic. I'm a huge Alan Moore fan, so that actually got me interested in Batgirl. And then when New 52 kind of rolled out with Barbara Gordon recovering, I was hooked right away.
I've never been someone who's into superheroes because I feel like their backstories are always pretty one-dimensional, whereas the villains and the anti-heroes always came from somewhere more broad and more dark, I guess you could say. So I like their whole backstories. I like the psychology of them, and I like what made them become anti-heroes, where they don't want to be known as good, but they don't want to be known as bad.
I love Scott Pilgrim. I love manga. I love, yeah.
Right now I'm into DC. I like the New 52, like
Okay.
Supergirl, Batman, Teen Titans.
Wholeheartedly a Batman fan. That's really what I read the most.
Anything with Batman, Justice League, and anything with villains.
Marvel mostly. I'm a huge fan of like the X-Men, Nightcrawler, Elektra.
Wolverine's one of my favorite characters, so we're going to go X-Men. We're obviously going to go Spider-Man. Venom, one of my favorite characters. I like Image Comics too. Spawn's awesome. A little bit of Savage Dragon in there.
What is it about DC that makes you like them better?
Their superheroes are just more badass. Like I
Okay.
find like Marvel, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this, but like they're kind of whiny. Like I find that they're too good. Like you know how Batman's like he's kind of got an evil side to him. He's battling with himself. And same with other superheroes in DC. If they were more like a little darker, maybe
Sure.
I would read Marvel. But
I don't mind DC. I'm kind of slowly immersing myself into that. I have a few Batman stuff and things
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
What is it that makes you like X-Men more or Marvel more than DC?
Well, because my favorite heroine is in it, Elektra,
Okay.
and then there's Storm and Nightcrawler. I don't know. I just find that the stories are interesting. It's a mixture of like humans and powers,
Okay.
and they're very relatable.
What about the money? Do you think comics are too expensive?
no, I buy comic books on my iPad. I know I don't do the paper anymore because like
okay.
they're just easier.
I feel like if they're monthly, that's not as
Okay.
expensive. You don't have to spend as much. But
Okay.
when they're coming out more frequently, it gets to be really expensive.
Nowadays they are, because most of the comics that you buy now, they're pretty expensive compared to what we grew
Yeah,
up
sure.
on. Like we grew up on the $1 comics.
Exactly.
Nowadays it's $6.
Are the comics too expensive, would you say, nowadays?
No, actually, as a student, I do find them really affordable. It's one thing that I can budget in. For someone who, like with New 52 releasing so many different titles, for someone who likes to compulsively collect a lot of them, I think that is a little expensive and it does get pricey. But if you have a few of them that you do like to collect, I don't find it expensive at all.
What about crossovers? Are you a big fan of crossovers? No? What don't you like about them?
I'm more of just like stick to this actual story, the proper characters. They're just not my thing.
Okay.
I don't mind it, but I do find that there's a lot of like holes, like loops, where sometimes the story doesn't line up when you bring other characters in. I find the older comics had a little more attention to detail for those things, and I think the newer ones not so much. Like
So-
you find a couple loopholes.
I love crossovers.
What is it about a manga that you like makes you like it better than American comics?
I like the animation style and the storylines more.
Okay. Is there one thing about comics that you could say has maybe deterred you from trying them more in the past?
They're over too quickly. Yeah.
Too short.
Yeah.
What is it that makes you like the video games more than the comics?
The interactivity. You get to tell the story yourself. It's amazing, especially the new games with Spider-Man and Venom. Phenomenal.
Are you guys friends in real life? Because in the comics, you guys are mortal enemies, right?
We try to keep it civil anyway for the environment of
Yeah,
the show.
don't believe what you read. It's all propaganda.
Comic Book Syndicate Assemble.
Comic Book Syndicate Assemble.
Comic Book Syndicate Assemble.
Comic Book Syndicate Assemble.
Comic Book Syndicate, assemble.
Comic Book Syndicate Assemble.
Crime Syndicate, assemble. No, really, let's go, guys. Come on, let's go, go.